Welcome back to the Playdate. I'm your host, Kaitlin Hansen.
And I'm your host, T.
T, it's been a minute. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I'm obsessed with your haircut.
Thank you. I got the mom bob.
I love it. How many inches did you cut off?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. It was like down. It was
long.
To my butt. It
Yeah.
was long.
Yeah.
I should have donated it. I didn't even think of it. I was just like,
It's okay.
Just tap it.
Yeah.
So next time.
Okay, that's so fun. I bet it like just feels so free.
Yes.
And it looks like just fresh and crisp.
It's so
Yay.
good. Thank you.
I love it. Awesome. Well, today we are talking about your birth story.
Yes.
I'm so excited to hear it.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah. So just to remind everybody, T has a 1-year-old named Robbie. Let's go into it.
Okay. So I was supposed to be induced.
Okay.
I got to pick February 14th.
I love that. And was the induction date at your due date or was it a week early?
It was a week early.
Okay.
So I have polycystic kidney disease.
Okay.
It is a genetic thing, but the way that it expresses is very different. So my little brother and my dad have it, and it expresses like it's in them. They have kidney failure.
Okay.
I don't. I just have, it's basically just cysts on your kidneys. So I have cysts on my kidneys, but it's not doing anything. But because of that, they wanted to really make sure that like everything was good to go.
Oh, totally.
My little brother also has a rare kidney disease, and because that's also genetic.
Yeah.
What they've seen in the past is that sometimes it'll present itself in pregnancy or after like labor.
Yeah.
So they really just were like,
monitoring
whatever.
Really
we just want to make sure it doesn't seem like anything. Nothing had been off my whole pregnancy. So they're like, we're just doing this as a precaution. So we're going to induce you a week early and then just make sure that you're good to go.
Yeah.
Which I loved my doctors. I actually went to Valley Women's Health.
Oh, yeah.
The rotating doctors.
Okay. Yes.
I never heard of that before, but
I've heard people love them.
I love it. It's like all the doctors were amazing. I always saw different ones, but the one that stuck with me and who actually delivered me was one who actually knew about like the rare diseases.
Okay, amazing.
Stuff. It was perfect. So I was like, okay, I feel super comfortable because she knows like what to do if something were to happen, God forbid, but like nothing did.
Yeah.
So that was like
shout out to Valley. Then.
Love them.
I just went there to get my IUD put back in because my OBGYN is no longer practicing medicine. And I was like, I don't want to like try and find anybody.
Yeah. Well, it's so hard. Like, how do you even do that?
I don't even know these days. Because I always have just like I went to my same doctor that I had when I was like 16. Yeah. And then I stuck with him. And then my insurance changed. And then somebody gave me a recommendation. And I just went to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, my friend recommended them. So I was like, I'll just try them. Like, I don't know where else to go. I'm not from here. I'm from California. So I'm like, wherever, whatever you think, I'll go. Yeah. And I loved them. Like, they were so amazing. Yeah. So anyways, I got induced. Or I didn't get induced. I got my induction date scheduled.
Yes.
They had given me 2 due dates. I was either going to be due the February 17th. That's what I was measuring.
Okay.
But my first due date was actually February 10th, which is when she ended up being born. So
oh my gosh, amazing.
Yeah. So anyways, I was scheduled. Mind you, I was working full time and I wanted to work literally up till February 13th.
Yes.
I was like, I'm not wasting any of my maternity leave.
No.
That's a whole nother discussion. Like, maternity leave sucks. So I was like, no, I'm saving that for my baby, which.
Were you feeling pretty good up until that end?
Yeah. Okay. I was like totally fine. Sleeping was the hardest thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can do this. I can work. I feel great. But that week, I just feel like, you just know. You get in nesting mode and you're all of a sudden like, maybe I'm not okay. So that week, I told them on Monday, I was like, I'm not going to come in. Wednesday is going to be my last day.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel good. Like, I just need a couple days. My induction date's next week. Like, I just don't want to come.
That's like exactly what I did with my first.
Yeah. So I was like, I really thought I could do it, but I can't. So won't be here. And they were totally fine. They're like, okay, perfect. We'll start your maternity leave. So I had a great day the next day. One day, and I just was living my best life. And I was like, wow, is this what it's going to be like? Oh, this is so fun. And then that night, I started to cramp. And I'm sleeping on the couch because that's the only comfortable way to sleep at this point.
And had you had any cramping before, like Braxton Hicks or anything like that? A little bit,
but like, honestly, your first pregnancy, I do not know what things feel like.
Same.
So it was just so weird. And they would tell me things because I was like, okay, well, what if I start contraction? Like, what does it feel like? And they're like, oh, you'll know.
I feel like you don't, though.
No, I literally was like, oh, these are just cramps.
Yeah.
Like I did not think that they were contractions.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, whatever, I'm fine. That next day, it was a Thursday that I fell asleep and I started feeling it like at night. And then that next day I had an appointment because I was getting checked every week. So I was like, it's fine. I'll just wait till my appointment. Like, I really don't think it's anything. And then that day like progressed on. I think my appointment was at 12 p.m. That morning I was like, they are happening pretty consistently.
Yeah.
But still, it doesn't hurt me. And my doctor literally was like, you will literally know, like, it is gonna, like, you will feel it. And I was just waiting to like feel it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't feel it. I feel like I'm on period cramps and they're very minimal. So I'm like, I'm just gonna keep waiting.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah. And I'm like, maybe I should take a shower. I'm gonna eat. So I called my doctor. I was like, hey, I have an appointment later today. Should I but I am feeling consistent, like cramps. I think they might be contractions. What do you think? And they're like, it might be, but like, honestly, if they admit you, they'll probably say you're not that far.
Yeah.
Like, and they'll probably send you
back
back
home. And had you
home.
gotten like checked as far as, because they say like.
Yes, I did that week
effaced
before.
And.
I don't know any of those terms.
Okay. I mean, I'm a C-section mom, so it's like they don't check you.
Oh,
really,
okay.
Unless like you say you want to be.
Yeah, yeah. So I had gotten.
I think they say you're like dilated to XYZ.
Yes. What is it even called?
Effaced.
They like.
Stripping of the membranes.
No, not that.
Oh, not that.
The week before, because they told me like if I'm not, because I wasn't dilated at all.
Okay.
Like the last time I got checked, which was the last Friday. And so I was like, they were telling me all about like the stripping membranes, what they might have to do since I was getting induced. And I was like, okay, cool. Like those are all my options, whatever.
Yeah.
But I was not dilated. So like a whole week later, I'm like, I'm not dilated. So I bet it's nothing. Like I bet I'm not contracting. And my husband was also like, yeah, I bet it's nothing. Like, I don't think. And I was like, you don't know what's going on, but sure, it's nothing.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's just wait till our appointment. So I was like, okay, fine. Take a shower. I was like, let's eat some food. Like, I just want to make sure.
I mean, honestly, smart.
No, well, and all my friends told me, like, try to labor as long as you can at home. Because the minute you get there, you can't eat. You can't, like, do, like, anything. No. So I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And plus, it doesn't feel bad at all. So.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it started, like, really hurting.
Yeah.
Not bad, but I was like, hey, I'm cramping now.
Yeah.
Like, it's really crampy. And it's very consistent. So we should just go. I called again and they're like, yeah, you probably are. Like, just come in. We'll get you in and we'll just see. And so I get there probably at like 11-ish. And then they check me in. Everything was all set because I already had an induction date scheduled, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I was put right in.
Like already registered.
Good. Everything was good. So then I go in and they check me and they're like, well, you're a 4 pushing a 5. Oh. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am so strong. Yeah, I'm like, I can't believe I got that far. I literally, and I'm getting an epidural. Like I knew.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that I was there
early
enough
to get it.
Because I was kind of just scared about that. Yeah. I think my mom, she came in way too late. So with me, she didn't get it. She couldn't get it.
Ouch, Chihuahua.
Yeah. She was a 9 when she got in. And I was like, you're wild.
Well, and I'm like, if you're not planning that, like if you're not planning a natural birth, I'm like, that's
like my biggest fear. Yeah. So anyways, I got in and they're like, hey, like you're in labor. And I was like, okay. And this is a sad part. So my mom had scheduled we're from California.
Yeah.
So she was planning to come for my induction date. And I had texted her early that morning. And I was like, I have a feeling I might have the baby today. I'm not sure. Can you get a flight? And she got a flight. Like,
oh my gosh.
Fast, but not fast.
Dang it.
So I got in. It was like 11. They're like, hey, we're just gonna.
Is this 11 like a.m.?
A.m.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're like, I'm pretty sure they just let me labor for a little bit. And they're like, we're gonna give you the epidural and then we're gonna break your water. Because after you break your water, it hurts more.
Yes.
So they're like, you're probably gonna want it.
Yeah.
And so getting my epidural was, I thought, going to be the scariest thing.
Yeah.
I was terrified.
Yeah. What did you think about it?
Nothing.
I loved it.
I loved it. I literally was like, this is nothing. People were telling me the scariest stories about epidurals. And I'm like,
I'm the freak though that I'm like, it sounds like a glow stick cracking and I love it. And everyone's like, that's disgusting.
That's actually exactly how
I love it. I also like love the sound of Botox too. I think it sounds like Rice Krispies. Yes.
Oh, I just got some. So like, I know that.
Yes. Yeah. Everyone's like, you're weird. But I loved the epidural.
That's like a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's so funny. But yeah, I really loved it. I thought it was amazing. So they did it and then they broke my water. And then I started feel like I didn't like feel it, but I knew like things were happening down there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden my legs went numb and I felt absolutely nothing.
And isn't that the trippiest feeling?
It was like uncomfortable kind of. Yeah. It's just like I cannot control.
Like I'm trying so hard to lift my leg and it won't lift.
Yes. Yeah. That part was weird. I didn't love it. But like if I didn't have to feel that, then I'm like, go ahead.
Totally.
So they broke my water and then it just all started happening so quick. I was a little delirious. I'm like, what did you guys put in this? Because I was cracking up.
Were you?
I thought the whole situation was so funny. It was just me and my husband, which I ended up loving.
Yeah.
I obviously wanted my mom there, but she didn't make it in time. But it was just like so funny because we're funny. Like, I feel like we joke around a lot. So like, we were just making fun of the whole situation.
The vibes were good.
The vibes were so good. We were just laughing at each other. And then my nurse was amazing.
That makes all the difference.
Like, she was giving, not grandma, but like she was older and she had known a lot of football players that my husband played football at BYU.
Sweet.
So she knew a lot of people. So she just like took care of us.
Good.
And my husband did not want to cut. Like I wrote it in my plan that I didn't have a plan. The only plan was that my husband does not want to cut the umbilical cord, so someone else needs to do it. And my husband asked her because she was just so cute and so nice and amazing. Anyways, so that was like before. Those were the vibes. They were asking if nurses could like come in and watch. I was like, sure, go ahead. Like this is so funny. You guys are all looking at me while I have my legs open. Like I just thought it was the funniest thing ever. So finally, honestly, like don't remember all the details. I just remember as soon as they gave me the epidural and broke my water, I went from like a 5 to a 7 and then like in an hour, a 7 to a 10.
Oh, wow. That's quick.
Yeah, it was very quick. So then they're like, okay, we need to start pushing. But like so I started pushing before the doctor comes.
What did that feel like when you were like at the point where you were about to push?
I was tripping out.
So I pushed for 2.5 hours before I ended up having an emergency C-section. And I think I mentioned this on another person's birth story. I felt like I had to go number 2.
Yes. Like it was just very heavy.
Yeah. Just like pressure. And you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm like clenching my butt cheeks.
Yes.
And they're like, no, that means you're ready.
Yeah. But then again, like I also didn't really know what I was feeling because it's like you can feel things, but you also can't. I don't know. It's kind of weird to explain. So I'm like, I felt the pressure, but I didn't feel like her necessarily like in my hoo-ha, like ready to go.
Right.
But they were like, oh no, her hair's right there. Like, let's start pushing. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Did you get a mirror?
No.
Yeah, I didn't either. I'm like, I don't want to.
I kind of wish I did. Yeah. I'm just like, I have the lowest tolerance of pain. So like this whole experience, I was not expecting it to go the way it did because I was prepared to like be passed out or like throwing up or like something because I just can't.
Right.
But like now knowing how it is and hopefully my next one is similar, I think I would want to watch. But also I'm like, I don't know.
I'm like, record my C-section. I'm like, I want to like watch that later.
You're crazy. Did you do it?
No, I mean, my husband has like live videos. I'll show you after.
Oh, I want to see.
It's like where they're like pulling it out. It's actually crazy. I'll show you. Yeah.
Do you want to see mine? Because I have videos.
Yes.
Of her just like.
I absolutely do.
It's so interesting.
I like love birth. I think it's so cool.
Oh, same. I could give birth 1,000 times, I think.
It's neat.
But I couldn't go through postpartum 1,000 times.
Punch my lights out.
We'll talk about that later. But
yeah.
So I just started pushing and then they were like, okay, you need to stop because we need to get the doctor.
Oh my gosh.
It was so fast. I think I pushed for 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing.
It was crazy. They're like, you were meant to birth. And I was like, sign me up. I'll do it again. But the other stuff, don't sign me up for that. But so I pushed and she just came out. It was amazing.
Wait, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, it was the most beautiful thing. Another thing I didn't want to happen was my husband to watch. I just was like, everybody always is like, no, it'll change his view on that down there forever.
Yeah,
and
you're like, I want you up here.
Yeah, I was like, don't watch. But he watched and he was like, it was the most beautiful thing. Like, obviously you had to watch, you had to record it. Because I was like, who else could record this?
Yeah.
Like, so he thought it was amazing. Like, we just were like, I was in shock and then I just was obviously bawling.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe I just did that. Like crazy.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's birth is amazing. It was so beautiful and it was just like the most amazing thing ever. And then, and then everything was just, she was there. And I was scared, but she latched on like immediately.
Because you did like chest right after.
After. I don't know all the things. Like I was scared about like the timing stuff of cutting the umbilical cord.
Yeah.
You know, you
they
read about
like
that.
Delayed clamping.
Yes.
I know nothing. They don't give me an option.
Oh, yes. I forgot. So, so I just was like, whatever is healthiest for the baby. That was my plan. Like they write on that board, like, what is your goals?
Yes.
And I was like, I just want to have like the safest and healthiest delivery. Like, I don't care.
I think that's so smart though, going into that, because especially being a first-time mom, there's so many things that can go differently than what you're expecting for your plan or whatnot. And I'm like, one advice that somebody gave me was like, go in, like your birth plan should be like, no plan, like healthy mom and baby. Yes. And like, that's it. So I'm like, I think that's so smart that you set those expectations.
Yeah. Everything is out of your control.
Oh,
like as a mother, as like when you're pregnant, like everything. You have even like getting pregnant. It's all out of your control. So it's like, if you just accept that already, like, and go into it with that mentality, it's so much easier to like accept everything that ends up happening. So I think like having that mindset helped me, because I was really nervous, because you just don't know. You've never experienced it. It's a brand new thing.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I just gotta take it as it is.
Yes.
I didn't even watch any birthing videos. I didn't prepare at all.
I
didn't read books.
I went to a birthing class, and I didn't honestly think it was like that helpful, because I was like, I know nothing about the like female anatomy. I'm like, I should probably do that.
Yeah.
And then they did the C-section part, and I walked out and I was like, I'll never have a C-section. And I'm like, that was actually the part that I really needed. But yeah, maybe that's good though, because you like go in and you're like, I don't know. You don't give like power to like the scary thoughts or whatnot.
Yes, because I think someone told me one thing, which I don't even want to say because I don't want to scare the moms that are listening that haven't gone through birth. But like someone told me one thing about the experience, and that was like, it terrified me the whole time. I was just really anxious about that one part.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I can't go into it this like understanding what the doctors are doing and what's going to happen, because it's going to freak me out.
It's best to not.
Yes. So I'm like, I don't want to know anything about what's happening. I want to just experience it, not have any expectations.
Yeah. Because I'm like, in one sense, I think like, it's good to know, so you know like what your rights are and like advocating for yourself. I'm like that, but I'm like, I don't think it's totally helpful to know all the different coulda, woulda, worst case scenario things. Because I'm like, that's not helpful.
No. No. So I did not want to know that.
Yeah.
But I don't even know where we
I love that. Did you, hopefully this isn't TMI and you don't have to answer. Did you like tear it all?
Yes. I had a first degree tear.
Okay.
But I'm such a weenie.
Yeah.
So like I didn't feel anything, but like the after, oh my gosh.
Was ouch.
So bad.
Yeah.
Recovery, if we want to get into that.
Yeah, tell me about recovery.
So I stayed at the hospital for 2 days, but I wanted to stay longer because I was like, what am I supposed to do?
Oh, I loved the hospital.
This is, take care of me, please. Yeah. Because I can't even walk. I can't get up. Like, it hurts. It hurts down there so bad. And so I just was like, trying to just milk it, but then I had to leave after 2 days. And then I also have a brand new baby. I'm like,
you're like, they trust me.
I'm like, can you guys change the diaper? Like, show me, like, she's so tiny. Like, I'm scared. Like, we just like don't know what to do. Like, that whole part was just like scary because they just leave you with the baby.
And they're so tiny.
So
the baths
tiny.
Are the scariest
part. Oh my gosh.
I'm like, they're just slippery little like tiny things. I made my mom and mother-in-law like come over and do the first couple baths because I was like,
so did I.
I'm gonna like drop her.
No, I let my husband and my mom do it. I couldn't do it.
I'm like,
I was too scared.
I cannot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just, the recovery, when I got home, it was terrible. Like, it's just, you just hurt. And like, I needed like a butt cushion. Like, I couldn't even sit down. So it's like, it's hard to relax and like recover.
Yeah.
Because your body hurt like that. You can't just sit.
Yeah. And you're taking care of a newborn.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you don't know what's like.
And there's sleep deprivation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's sleep deprivation.
That'll get you.
That is another level of sleep deprivation. I didn't think, like, my husband plays video games all the time. He's up all the time. Like, he's a night owl.
Yeah.
And even he was like, this is a different kind of, So it was crazy. So the first 2 weeks were very hard. My mom was with us, which was so helpful. She would let me we would all just rotate taking
that's so
naps.
nice.
It was the best thing ever. I had a really hard time just remembering to eat and drink water, all those things, because there's just so much going on. You don't know what to prioritize.
Right.
You're like, okay, baby first, then sleep, then food, water. I just was. My friend says it's like death by fire your first baby, because it's just you just have doing
no idea. Yeah.
So it was very difficult. I had the baby blues. I don't think I really had any postpartum depression.
Yeah.
I feel like I was just the normal blues, I would say. So recovery was pretty difficult. But after a few months, I felt like I started to feel like myself again.
Yeah.
Now I finally feel like I'm at a place where I'm I feel good. I feel like I know what's going on.
Yeah.
I feel confident in my mothering skills.
Good.
For the most part.
Yes.
But I'm getting there.
Yeah.
And I feel like people think you snap out of it quickly. Just the postpartum everything, mentally, physically.
I'm postpartum can be up to 3 years, I've heard.
It should be 18 years.
Yeah.
I'm
seriously.
We are mothers now. And mother in general is postpartum to me. And that, it's just so much that you're learning and overcoming and trying to figure out it.
And it changes every freaking day. Yeah.
So it's as soon as you figure out one thing, then it switches.
Yep.
So that's my journey so far.
Was there anything specific for your postpartum recovery that you felt was helpful to have?
Products?
Yeah. Or just things that you did. Some people were oh, I made it a priority to people are oh, look good, feel good. So I put clothes on. That's totally me. Or okay.
Yeah. So the putting clothes on part was hard because it's my body's new and nothing fits still. I'm wearing all my maternity stuff. I just don't feel good. So I'm I had to have a matching set on because it made me feel put together.
I love a match. I live my life. I
love a matching set. Yeah. So a comfy matching set. And I would always do my makeup because I'm I just need to feel like I'm doing something for the day and I'm not just.
It almost tricks your mind.
Yes. That is so me.
Yeah.
I always even to this day, I feel like a lot of people there's something against getting your kids ready and not yourself. You see that on social media. And it's a thing.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm in order for me to be the best for my daughter and for me to feel like I'm confident and having a good day, I have to get ready.
Yeah.
And I will get ready and then I'll get my daughter ready.
Yes.
I will make time for that.
Yeah. And if the kid doesn't get ready, whatever.
Well, she's just rolling around in mud anyway.
Yeah.
So
I'm the second you leave the door, their bows and hair and everything's a mess.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
So I'm well, at least I'm put together.
Yeah.
And I feel good and I'm going to be the best mom for you because I look good. So.
No, I like that.
Yeah,
and then what about product wise?
Well, I love the pads that are ice.
Oh, yeah,
that you crack them.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, those are amazing.
Okay.
I would just be wearing those all the time.
Yes.
A butt pillow.
Oh,
that changed the game for me because I really couldn't sit down. It really hurt. I would have to have multiple pillows just stacked up. Oh, it was terrible. Oh my gosh, going to the bathroom. I forgot about that.
That was the worst.
It was so scary.
Yeah.
Going number 2. Oh my gosh. I was just
I would
terrified.
Be so scared.
Yeah, it was not the best, but you just do it. And then I really liked I cannot think of what it's called. I want to say Ticks, but Tucks.
Yes.
Tucks. Loved Tucks.
Okay.
I went through multiple things of that. And then my thing was I would get the ice pad and then I would put the foam on it and then Tucks. I would layer it.
They call them padsicles.
Yes. I did a whole little thing like that. I didn't prepare mine. I know a lot of people do. I probably should have, but I was just going through those things that I was I can't prepare these. I need to just do it in real time.
Yeah.
But those are my go-tos. I love that. And I just would sit on ice pack a lot because I just needed the extra ice. It was hurting.
That's so smart. Ugh.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would do differently if you were to have another baby?
Honestly, I don't think so. I loved how it went.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that they continue to go well in the future because that one was just so good.
Yes.
And now I have these expectations that it's always going to go so good. I know it's probably not.
No, but I think that's a good mentality to have though.
Yeah, I'm excited for the next one. A little scared because you just never know. But I think that I went as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
And as I imagined it would be.
I love that.
So it was good.
Yay. Okay. I always love hearing about good, positive birth stories.
Yes.
Because I'm like, you hear about the horror stories, and I'm like, it really is so beautiful. And even when there are horror stories, I'm like, there's nothing more magical than like holding your baby for the first time. And like, it's just so beautiful that your body can do that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's so empowering. Okay, last, just to finish up, tell me about the mom that you hope to be.
Oh my gosh, I want to cry.
I know. I do all the time. Tears are welcome here.
It's so hard because I feel like, well, every day I feel like I'm a bad mom. Which I know is not true.
No.
I think that there's just like, you see social media, you see all the highlights, and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to give her all these meals that are like homemade. And
I'm like, I'm not making homemade bread for their PB&J and grinding up my own peanut butter.
Right. So I'm just like, I have these really false expectations just because of the world that we live in. I think if anything, I just want to be like the most accepting mom. Like I want to be like her biggest cheerleader, whatever happens in her life. I just want to be like, I'm there for you. Like if you're drinking and you need a ride, call me. Like I just want to be like that, like for her, because I think there's always a fine line between friends and parents, but I do feel like I just want my kid to like know that I'll support them fully no matter what they do. And I try to keep that in mind. Like, even though she's 1 right now, I'm just like, how can I just support everything that you're doing? Like, if you're learning this or like, this is your favorite song, well, we'll sing it every single day for you because that's what you love. And I just want to be that for my kids and for my family.
I love that so much. That's incredible. And like, I know that you're an incredible mom.
Oh,
so
yay.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That was beautiful. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
See ya.